listening to the Fun with Horror podcast with your hosts, Scotty and Andrew.
Goofball. Hey, Scotty.
Hello, Dolly.
How are you?
I'm good. What's that from, Andrew?
Hello, Dolly. Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
I'm going to like older movies with like, I'm ready for my close up.
Oh wow, that's old.
I know. Well, I heard Dolly, so I was going to that.
Horror movies, man.
I know. Oh, Dolly. Help me out. I don't know.
Oh, Bride of Chucky.
Oh, God. You're right.
It's okay. I'm
said
terrible at that game too. If people give me like quotes from movies, and even if it's a movie I've seen like 20 times, I'm terrible at that game.
Yeah. It depends, I guess, but for me. But yeah, I should have known that one. That was my bad.
But yeah, I've been going down a Chucky rabbit hole lately.
Yes.
And because obviously, well, not obviously, but the TV series is coming out soon.
Oh yeah.
So I realized that there's many Chucky movies that I haven't seen. Like I've seen a lot of horror movies, but for some reason I never went past Child's Play 2. And honestly, I thought I had seen Child's Play 1 through 3 at least, but I think like a week and a half ago when I started to watch Child's Play 3, I just realized while I was watching it that I have never seen this movie. So I finished that, and now I'm about halfway through Bride of Chucky, and hopefully I'll be able to get through all of the main Chucky movies before the series.
I think you will. Yeah,
have you seen them all?
Oh yeah, I have them all.
Oh. So you've even seen, like, what is it, Curse of Chucky?
Isn't that
Cult? Or Cult of Chucky?
Well, there was Curse. I think it was Curse first, and then Cult. And yeah, now the show and the remake.
Okay, now
I don't have that though.
Yeah, I mean I've seen the remake too, but just talking about the classic Chucky movies now. Yeah. Just out of curiosity, I know Child's Play 2 is your favorite.
Oh yeah,
because we've talked about it a few times.
Yes.
What is what did you think of the rest of the series without spoilers?
Without spoilers, so as I've mentioned, kind of Chucky was the one movie when I was a kid that really traumatized me. It really scared me. And so I think for that reason, it has a soft spot in my heart. So I really do. I enjoy the movies. All of them, too, like you said, is my 100% my favorite. And the first three are a little more serious. As serious as you can be. And then the later ones, well, kind of are a little more, has some more humor.
That's okay. You don't have to say it.
Yeah.
You don't have to say it.
Just some humor,
I'm looking forward to seeing them all.
Yeah, I think you'll enjoy them, man. They're a good time. They're fun movies.
Also, I don't know if you can, my cat is now meowing
I can hear. Yay, we finally get an appearance, man.
Yeah, hey, guest appearance by my cat Bowie.
Yes.
And so yeah, that's my life. Been watching some Chucky. How about you? How are you doing?
Things are good. Well, I wanted to say thank you because I got a present this week in the mail. And I got a brand new microphone, man. That's way nicer than the thing I was using before. And so thank you. That was a very sweet gift. Hey. This is awesome.
Well, as I told you, I thought, we're professional podcasters now.
That's right.
So I thought that we should at least have the same mic.
I agree. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good though, man. It's so crystal clear.
It sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I think it sounds awesome. So thank you.
I am a bit aroused right now. It's nice hearing your voice in my headphones.
Well, let me get down to this voice.
You're so pretty.
Why don't you like me?
Oh my god. I think there was like a dropout while you were saying that.
Oh no.
That made it sound even better. Why don't you like me?
I will keep that in the edit.
Yeah. I think so. Um, awesome. I'm glad you like it, man.
Yeah, thank you. It's awesome. Yeah, like you said, we're professional podcasters now. We made it to episode 5. We're on episode
Yeah,
5.
and we don't have a lot of like reviews yet or anything. In
Mm-hmm.
fact, we only have 2, which is fine. When we get reviews, we'll get them.
Right, yeah.
But
Oh, yeah.
I did want to say the most recent review that somebody left is very, very nice. And not only is it nice, but it just says something that really touches me and speaks to me. And it says it's from somebody named Jet Mysterio.
Oh,
So Jet, we love you.
yeah. Thank you,
Uh,
Jet.
and it says part of the review says, when Andrew and Scotty talk, it reminds me of my days hanging around the video stores talking about life, horror movies, and everything in between.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love that. Wow.
Yeah, I think that's great.
Yeah,
I think that's wonderful, and
oh,
yeah,
yeah.
that's what we're trying to convey. Like
Yep.
just two friends talking about horror movies.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool.
But
Thank you, Jet. That's great. Thank you.
yeah, thank you, Jet Mysterio.
Stereo. Love it.
He's mysterious.
Ooh, mysterious. That voice may show up with this
Anyway.
new mic more than once, so my apologies.
Oh, great. I can't wait.
That's on you, friend. That's on you.
I'll take it. Okay. So as always, we're about to talk about our movie of the week,
Mm-hmm.
and we just want to remind everybody that if you have not seen the movie, we are probably going to spoil it quite a bit.
Yes.
So, as always, movie of the week will be spoiled. If you don't want it spoiled, go watch the movie and then come back and listen. If you don't care or you've seen the movie, listen on.
Evan, can you hear me? It's me, Bobby. I'm scared, Mommy. Me too, okay? But I'm not gonna leave you.
Alexa, tell me about the movie The Boy Behind the Door.
The Boy Behind the Door is a 2020 horror film starring Lonnie, Ezra, Dewey, and Kristen Bauer. After Bobby and his best friend Kevin are kidnapped and taken to a strange house in the middle of nowhere, Bobby manages to escape. But then he hears Kevin screams for help and realizes he can't leave his friend behind. The film is 1 hour and 28 minutes long. The movie has a rating of 5.7 out of 10 on IMDb based on around 1,800 votes.
Wow.
Wow.
That's good. Okay, Alexa, stop.
Quite the spiel.
Because she's just going to keep talking.
Right.
So, our movie of the week is The Boy Behind the Door.
Yes.
It was, I think, made in 2020, but it was released this year.
Right.
It was released in July.
Yeah.
So, this was your pick, Andrew. First of all, before we get into what you thought of the movie, why did you pick this movie? I was curious about that.
Ooh, good question. So, it was the trailer, and it was. Fortunately, I don't really remember much of the trailer before we watched it. I just remember seeing it maybe in June, to promote it, showing up on Shudder the following month, and it popped up, and it looked like one of those movies where you're kind of on the edge of your seat. Are these kids going to get caught? Kind of a thing. It sort of gave me the same vibe as. If you've seen the movie No Escape with Owen Wilson, and yeah, it gave me that same feel of like, oh my gosh, are they going to get out of this? And I really like those movies. I like being at the edge of my seat. I like, that feeling, and so it gave me that same vibe, and I think that was what. But then, like I said, I didn't think much of it. I said I'll watch it when it's out, and then when it showed up on Shudder, I went, oh, it's going on my list for sure. So
Now, I have not seen No Escape.
Oh,
so,
okay.
So yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, it was just interesting because I had never seen any trailer for it. Like I mentioned last week, I think browsing through Shudder, I may have seen it on there, and I may have seen it on their Twitter and stuff like that, but didn't know anything about the movie. So yeah, I was just curious as to what made you pick that one amongst all the other horror movies out there. So I've got another question for you, but I'm gonna hang on to it because you may answer it just talking about the movie. So yeah, go for it. What did you think of The Boy Behind the Door?
All right. So I liked this movie. I did. And like I kind of mentioned last week to you, I would almost put this more of a, yes, it's a thriller, or excuse me, yes, it's a horror, and it definitely ends very horror-like. But I would almost categorize it as somewhat of a thriller as well. And so that was, I mean, we're fun with horror, so I was kind of cautious last week. But seeing how it ended, I would call it a horror as well. But I really liked it. I had fun with this. Like I said, I really like those movies where you're at the edge of your seat. You're rooting. I like movies where you're rooting for the characters. Mind you, I love slasher movies, and we've talked about this where I really do enjoy seeing the teenagers get it from a slasher as well.
Yeah.
But I really do love those movies where you really care about the characters, and you are worried about their safety, and whether they get out or not, either you feel great that they got out or you feel horrible if they don't. And this was kind of one of those movies, and I think a big part of that would be the two actors who played the characters were Bobby and Kevin, but it was Lonnie Chavez and Ezra Dewey. They were the two actors that played these young, 12-year-old boys.
Yeah, 11 or 12.
11 or 12 is kind of what I would say, yeah. They did a great job. And like I said, whenever it comes to kids, I'm always rooting for them. Having a kiddo,
of course, yeah.
Of course, close to that age as well helps everything and makes me, makes me really, really root for them. And
especially with the subject matter of this movie.
Right, which I didn't know. From what I remember of the trailer, all I remember is a kid locked up and needing to get out, and his friend was there to help. That was really it. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize that there was obviously there'd be more, but I didn't realize that there was some info about trafficking, sort of, in this movie, which actually kind of really terrified me, because I went, I'm not sure where this is going, and I'm not sure I'm gonna like where this is going, and so that actually made me very nervous.
That was one of my thoughts exactly.
Really? Well, yeah.
I will finish every movie that we pick,
mm-hmm.
even if it's just the worst movie ever. But when this movie started, I was like, I hope this doesn't go too dark. I know the subject matter is dark, but I hope it's not visually explicit,
Yeah. And there's this scene, again, spoiler alerts, but there's this scene where you see the person that owns the house, you see some Polaroids of, body parts of like a kid, but you don't see anything graphic, fortunately. But I was like, oh, I don't like this. I got really, really scared of what we were going to see in that part too. So, there was definitely some subject matter that made me very uncomfortable. But like you said, we didn't get as dark as it could have in this movie, which I was very grateful for, that we didn't see anything get worse than what it was. That being said, I was pretty hooked from the beginning. I think one thing I'm never great at acknowledging or noticing, I guess, would be sound design.
Interesting.
Yeah, right? You would think, but that's one thing, I don't know. I never think about it. This movie in particular, though, started out very quiet in a field, and I felt like every leaf that our two characters stepped on, you heard the crunch. And for some reason, and I think just hearing those leaves, it really put me in that mindset, and having the same thing outside of fall. Now we're getting into the horror months, you know what I mean? We're getting close to Halloween. So I think right away it gave me just hearing those crunching of the leaves really put my mind kind of in that zone of, ooh, that's right, we're about to see some stuff. It's about to get dark. And I think it was strategically placed to just put you in that vibe, maybe. Maybe it wasn't, but that's how I felt anyway. So it put me in that zone. There was a couple, it starts out with the two boys playing catch, essentially, and the ball falls off the, hill, and the one boy goes to get it and doesn't come back. The other boy, I think Kevin goes down to get it. Bobby goes down after, looking for him a little later. And there was a really great moment where Kevin's obviously gone, and Bobby's doing kind of the cliche line of, "This isn't funny, Bobby." And I really thought we were going to get that cliche of the friend popping out, going, "Gotcha, I scared you." But we didn't. Instead, we got Bobby, the bad guy behind him, grabbed him and smashed his head into a tree and knocked him out, which I was not expecting. I just went, whoa, I was really, really expecting that cliche of, I got you. Especially them being kids. I just really thought that was going to happen. So that was it was horrible, but it was nice to not have that. I thought, oh, great. We're in this. That's cool. Overall, though, like I said, I had fun. There was some really great moments in the house where they are taken to. There's the first kind of opening scene where we sort of see the silhouette of the bad person. Bobby runs in to go save his friend Kevin, and it's sort of this kind of cat and mouse where the bad person is kind of walking around, and you follow Bobby as he tries to get away from the person or not be seen by the bad guy. And I thought that was a really fun and scary scene. Again, that's one of those things I like, where you're sitting there going, don't get caught. Do whatever you can to not get caught. Yeah, and like I said, I mean, we finally see someone show up that pays money to see one of the kids, which again, that was kind of the part where I went, oh no. This creepy guy shows up with a buttload of cash and wants to do something, with this kid in the house. So I got really nervous there.
Very dark.
Very dark. Very dark. I'm glad nothing happened with that. Obviously, the guy was super creepy, and nothing really did happen with Kevin and him. But I also like, too, that I really thought that was going to be our main antagonist, the guy that comes there with money, but he dies pretty quick. After chasing Bobby around, he throws water on him, he slips, he hits his head, and then Bobby grabs a kitchen knife, and the guy sits up quick and gets jabbed in the stomach with it. Which I like that part. I did too. I think there was just a couple of those moments where they could have gone a different way and been a little more, I don't know, cliche, I guess, but this was different. It was kind of like, oh, he's dead. Wonderful. There were a few moments though that made me pull my hair out. I even said this to my wife. I was like, there are moments where they'd attack the bad person and then they'd drop like their weapons right next to the bad person. Like they'd run and leave like the taser right there with the bad guy. And you're just like, dude, no, get that and run and hide or do whatever.
Yep.
So I had to say to my wife, like, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt because they're 11 or 12. And that's my excuse for them, because there's no way I would have done that. So there was, a few moments like that where I just went, oh, guys, come on. Really, the whole movie is cat and mouse, I think, for the most part, of hiding, run.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is what I sort of expected it to be. And I'm fine with that. I knew it would be something like that, so I think that was fun. I thought our villain, let me remind myself of her name, which is Kristen. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, no, I was just going to say that I didn't know if you were trying to think of her real name or her character's name, but her character doesn't really have a name.
You're right. Yeah. The actress is Kristen
that...
Bauer Van Straten. Is her name, but
yeah. And did you ever see True Blood?
I didn't.
Yeah, she was one of the main characters in True Blood, and she was fantastic.
Oh, so, awesome. Okay.
I was very happy to see her pop up in this movie, and especially with the way the movie plays with gender roles in movies, where you kind of automatically assume that it's a guy that kidnapped them.
Totally.
And then at a certain point, you realize, nope, it's a woman, and I thought that was kind of cool. I caught on to that a little bit before they actually revealed it.
Me too.
I don't know why. I can't really remember. Yeah. I don't remember what it was, but there was something where I was like, I just thought they're purposely not showing this person, and I bet it's a woman. And sure enough.
Yep.
And I didn't know that she was in this before I watched it. I didn't look at the IMDb or anything, so I'm glad I didn't. Because
for sure.
It's a twist. So
yeah, and definitely, it was. I think when I really was like, oh, okay, that person definitely has more feminine features. Was the Shining call out?
Yeah, yeah.
Where she breaks down the bathroom door with an axe, and her face kind of pops in for a second. And that was when I first saw and went, oh, I think that is a woman.
Well, also the way the camera followed the axe, it was a very blatant homage to The Shining.
Oh, and the stance that Bobby has with the against the wall. Yeah. Well, and then right after too, with the police officer getting, because the police officer comes, Bobby finds a phone, calls the police, they come, but when she hits him with the axe, it was very much, I would still say, an homage to Shining as well, because it's the same. Gets it right in the stomach, pops out from behind.
I'd say that. I didn't actually think about that, but you're absolutely right.
Oh, thanks, buddy. And then there was one other one that I liked too, and I don't know if it was on purpose or not, but there's a moment where Bobby, right after he calls the police, he's standing in front of the window, and it's almost, if I remember, it's like the exact same stance as the ending of Friday the 13th Part 2 behind the window. I don't know if that was an homage to it or not, but the second I saw it, I was like, oh, Friday the 13th Part 2. That was the first thing.
I'll have to go back and check that part out.
Yeah. And like I said, it might have just been, he might have just been standing in front of a window, and that was my initial thought.
Yeah.
But, but like I said, I think it was fun. There was a few lines in the movie that were a little cringy to me. And again, they're kids, so it's different. But there was just a few, not even cringy, just it was like I've seen it all before. Like, we should move out of this town when we can together. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just felt like I've seen that.
Oh, yeah. It was a little cheesy.
Yeah, pretty cheesy. So,
but see, and then at that point, they never followed through with this or anything, but I wondered if they were going to go with a same-sex relationship, foreshadowing that. I mean, there's best friends, but then I was wondering if we would get a flash forward at the end of the movie to show them together as a couple.
Oh yeah.
I thought that would have been nice, but I don't think we got that flash forward.
We didn't. No, nothing.
We just
see him at the beach, but that's about it.
They went to the beach. They finally got to Los Angeles and went to the beach.
Yeah. Yeah. So
they got away from the horrible pedophiles and came to Los Angeles, where it's wonderful and everybody's an angel. And there's no evil people at all at the beach.
Oh my gosh. That was awesome. Oh, wow. What? Touche.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I would say towards the end it was, like I mentioned earlier, it becomes more a horror movie. She's chasing him around the woods with an axe. She's bloodied up. She got a finger cut off. One of our main characters, Bobby, got shot in the leg at one point, so he's stumbling in the woods as well. And it sort of did become that horror movie in the woods with a maniac and an axe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Which was fun. Like it was like, I'm good with this. I will say that the two, let me get their name as well, but the two directors, because it was two, was David Charbonnier,
Yeah, I think it's Charbonnier.
Charbonnier, and then Justin Powell. Um, I think I'm excited to see more of them. This was like really their first movie, or there was another one with the same actor that played Kevin called, I'm not sure if I'm going to say it right, if it's Jin or Dejin. It's Djinn.
Oh,
I don't know if it's like Django, the D is silent or
Jin.
not.
It's
Jin?
Jin.
Is it
It's
Jin?
like yeah, like genie type thing.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense then. Yeah, so I think those are kind of their only two credits, but I would definitely go see that one as well. I'm interested to
Interesting.
see more of them, and I think it's cool that they were, they're best friends that wanted to make some movies, and I was like, hey, we're best friends that wanted to make a podcast. This is a nice little
Hey, yeah.
nice little shout out.
It's our movie.
Yeah, yeah. But I think, I
All
mean,
right.
that's kind of me in a nutshell. What I'd love to get your input. What are your?
Well, when you started talking about the movie, I kind of said to myself, "Oh no," because my opinion isn't quite as favorable as yours.
Fair. Okay. Yeah.
And I when somebody likes a movie, I don't like to really talk about why I didn't like it as much too much because I always get nervous of swaying somebody's opinion.
Sure.
But
No. Yeah. I get
as
it.
you went on talking, I think you felt some of the things I felt. They just didn't bother you as much.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, Basically, I liked the movie okay.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't love it.
Okay.
I thought it was a good cat and mouse game, but the situations I had a lot of problems with how the situations were written into the movie, and it was harder for me to just blame it on the kids being so young
Right. Yeah.
when I know that somebody could write a smarter script to put these kids in peril.
Right.
But
Yeah.
instead, they put them in peril because the kids were making not great choices.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, right at the beginning, when she kidnaps both of the kids, and I'm going to say she because by this point in the podcast, we've talked about her being a her.
Right.
She takes one kid out of the trunk and leaves. She takes Kevin out and she leaves Bobby in the trunk. Bobby gets out of the trunk and he's running away from the house. And this bothered me and didn't at the same time because he hears Kevin kind of screaming in the house
Mm-hmm.
and Bobby's about to run.
Right.
And the smart person in me is sitting there thinking, keep running, get help.
Yeah.
Like, don't go back in that house by yourself.
Right.
Go get help. Call the police. Find a house nearby. As the movie goes on, you kind of get the idea that this is a secluded house. There aren't other houses around, but I don't think that was super clear at the beginning of the movie.
Right. That's true.
Yeah, so it would have been nice if we had Bobby look around and realize that there's no other houses around.
Mm.
There's nowhere to run, really. And that gives him another reason to go back inside the house. But then the entire movie is just thing after thing with Bobby doing these actions that just I was questioning. And I'm sitting there thinking, don't do that. Like, why are you doing that? Like you mentioned, he drops weapons when he takes care of somebody. Like you mentioned, he dropped the stun gun or
Mm-hmm.
whatever instead of holding it. And yeah, it was a lot of that for me.
Gotcha.
But that said, there's also some cliches in the movie. So a cop shows up, as you
Mm-hmm.
alluded to earlier, and of course the cop is by himself.
Right. Yeah.
And we know that cops always show up in pairs, almost always.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just weird to me that he showed up by himself. But And then he goes inside the house, and did he even draw his gun?
He put his hand on it, but he didn't draw it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think in real life the cop at that point would have drawn his gun.
Right.
He would have tried to turn on some lights. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
true.
It didn't ring true to me, that scene. And I knew he was going to get it because he was by himself.
Right.
But he called for backup, which was nice. Or did he? Did he call for backup?
I don't remember him doing that, actually.
Maybe he didn't, because the kids called for backup. Never mind. He didn't even call for backup. Yeah, I'd have to go back and look. Maybe he did. I don't want to say that because I could be wrong. I watched this movie a week ago, and my retention is less than stellar. But yeah, my note on my pad is cop is by himself and stupid. So yeah, I just didn't think the cop was a very smart cop. There was also mechanical things that were just unrealistic. Like, we've all seen somebody try to clean up blood in a movie.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And this kid, I'm sitting there going, why are you even trying to move the body and clean up this blood? You know the blood is not going to be able to get cleaned up. But no, this kid has the magic Swiffer duster, and that just automatically cleans up all the blood except for a little droplet near the bottom of the table that, like, thought that was maybe going to foreshadow something. But no, it's just a little bit of blood left over.
Yeah.
But man, that floor was spotless.
You're right. I had that same note too.
Like, what? And he did it in seconds. It's like
Yeah.
he did it. It didn't even seem like they cheated time that much. Like, he honestly cleaned up an entire pool of blood in minutes. And he was also super strength little kid, Bobby. He dragged this grown man's dead body, like, across the floor.
Yeah.
Man, like, grown people have a hard time doing that in movies. And this little 11-year-old kid is able to, like, push him downstairs.
Yeah.
Like, it was nuts.
You're right. Yeah. Yeah. I had the same thought.
And then the other thing that, and I'll get to the stuff that I liked, but the other thing that kind of bothered me was just, like, yeah, there's a couple of moments where she's about to do something, like, outside of the kids go in the police car, and then, the whole sequence happens where she gets them out of the police car.
Right.
And she's about to kill Bobby, I think it is.
Yeah.
And because Kevin's the one with the taser.
Mm-hmm.
So she's about to kill Kevin, but all of a sudden it just slows down. The movie slows down, and you're like, okay, well, something's going to stop her right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then the same thing at the end of the movie. When she raises that axe to kill the kids,
Yeah.
everything slows down, and then she gets shot, and you're like, okay, yeah, so the cops are going to arrive right now. It was just a little bit, like, too much of a cheat, too much of a, I guess, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but yeah, just too much of a cliche.
Yep.
So let me get to the stuff I did like.
Yeah. Yeah.
First of all, the acting.
Mm-hmm.
Those two kids, like you said, amazing actors.
Yeah.
Lonnie Chavis and Ezra Dewey are, like, they did acting that, like, I don't know how those kids got there, because as two children that are being kidnapped and, forcibly being put into prostitution,
Right.
is what the movie's kind of dealing with. The fear and the real emotions that those kids portrayed in the movie, outstanding to me. And they need to be in more movies. They were fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I felt like the kid Bobby mostly, I felt like Bobby could have handled situations better. Given the situations he was in, I thought they were nice and tense at times.
Good,
like
yeah.
he did. It wasn't completely without completely. It wasn't completely without tension for me. So I wasn't bored.
Mm-hmm.
I was mid level with that. there's little things. I liked the touch about the kids not knowing how to use a rotary phone.
Yeah, that was cute.
Like, yeah, all they know is iPhones and stuff like that. So, but he figured it out. But then he hung it up.
I thought the
Like,
same thing.
oh my god, that was one that really bothered me. Like, you can get away from the phone and not hang it up, kid. You know how phones work.
Yeah.
That's not the ignorance of a rotary phone. That if you want to keep 911 on the line, just move away. But
Yep.
in the end, it didn't matter because 911 got the location anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wrote in all capital letters, fingernail. Oh my god. That was one of the most painful scenes because Kevin's trying to pry out this grate, and he like breaks back half of his fingernail, and it's just so painful. It's just so well done. Really great moment.
Oh, it looked horrible.
And yeah, I mean, the only other thing I'll mention, and it was just this is actually another issue that I had, and it was just on top of everything else. Like at the beginning of the movie, it's shown that Kevin or Bobby could very clearly hear Kevin screaming in the house. So when the cop shows up, why aren't the kids all of a sudden they're like silent?
True.
And I'm thinking Bobby would have known that anybody outside can hear screaming from inside the house. It's not very soundproofed. So why isn't he screaming his head off? I don't know.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Again, 11-year-old kid. So that's my thoughts. You liked the movie a lot. I didn't like it as much, but I didn't hate it.
That's fair. No, I
actually
I'm kind of happy about this, just to have a little difference. I think
we
it's
don't
great.
always have to totally agree.
You're right, and that's what makes us friends.
I thought it was the bubble baths.
You're right.
So I've got 3 questions for you, Andrew.
Yeah. Yes.
Number 1, was this movie gory? Was it bloody?
Yes and no. I would say definitely there's blood in it. Like you said, Bobby cleans up like an entire human body's blood amount in 2 minutes flat. So there's that. The fingernail was horrifying. Our main villain, she gets her finger cut off. So there's blood in it. But again, this is one of those ones where I would almost say it's not as bloody as a lot of things.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely not as gory as some other movies.
Yeah, so I would say kinda. I don't really have like a yes or no. It's kinda.
It's bloody, but not too bloody.
Yeah.
Let's just say that way.
Yep.
It's not super gory, but it does have some blood and gore in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Question number 2.
Yes.
Was this movie... Oh, yes. And this question goes hand in hand with what I wanted to ask you earlier. So I'm going to kind of ask you both at the same time.
Ooh, okay.
Our soon-to-be regular question, was this movie scary? And on top of that, I wanted to ask you about this because you have an 11-year-old kiddo.
Correct.
I don't. So I wanted to know how it felt as a parent to watch this movie.
Ooh.
And was this movie scary?
Okay, great question. Okay, so was it scary? I would say, from me, as a horror fan who's seen quite a number of horror movies and scary movies and what have you, I wouldn't say it was super scary. Like I said, it would be more like a thriller, like I mentioned that earlier. You're more on the edge of your seat a few times, but I don't know if I would be... Again, when I think scary, I really think of movies where I gotta like put my hand on my eyes and try and look tough in front of my wife, but still look like I'm not.
Did she watch it with you?
She did, yes.
Okay. Interesting. So that furthers my question because I kind of want to know if she mentioned anything about that too.
Right. So going back to the first one, is it scary? For me, I would say not really. I wasn't scared. I was scared, of course, for the kids, but I wasn't, as a viewer of the movie, I would say I wasn't really scared. That being said, as the parent of an 11-year-old, this movie totally gave me different feelings than it would have, a while back. Like if I was, back in when I was living there, I would definitely have had different feelings than I do now. And actually, I've noticed that in a lot of movies I've seen where I go, ooh, I'm more uncomfortable now. And I think it's because I have someone that I'm taking care of. You know what I mean? I have someone that I'm protecting, or trying to protect, doing everything.
But in general, do kids in peril affect you more than adults in peril?
Oh, 100%.
I mean, I think that's kind of a stupid question, because I think that's probably the same with anybody, even without kids. But, just noticeably different because you are a parent now.
Right. And yes, definitely. Like I said, there's been other movies, but this one as well, where I'm definitely more nervous. And again, I think it is because I'm kind of putting my kiddo in almost in those roles. If this was my kiddo there, good Lord, what would I do? So for sure, it was scarier because I have an 11-year-old.
Okay. And I can agree with the scariness. But probably for different reasons. It was a little bit tense in moments.
Mm-hmm.
Like the part in the police car, I thought was very effective.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I liked, us again, bringing up the movie itself. I did like how she couldn't get through the police window the police car window because it was bulletproof. So
right.
I thought they could have easily been unrealistic in that moment, but they didn't. They went with realism there, and that was nice. So she went and got the cops' car keys, and yeah, at that moment I was pretty tense. But I also, at this point in the movie, I didn't think that they were going to do anything to the kids. So I wasn't super scared for the kids. Because I just felt like this movie was slightly safe and cliche. And, again, in respects, I'm glad it was safe. I did not want to deal with watching a movie about pedophilia.
Right.
It was hard enough just watching those parts, knowing that pedophilia existed. But on the very big plus side, and something we haven't mentioned, the movie goes out of its way to multiple times have Kevin say that, no, he didn't touch me.
You're right.
Like nothing bad except for the violence. I mean, Kevin gets hit, which is bad, but nothing sexual happens to the kid, and they go out of their way to make sure you know that. So I appreciated that as the viewer.
Me too.
Thank you for not going all the way down that dark path,
right.
Just alluding to it. But yeah, as a whole, I wasn't really that scared of the movie. And mostly because of the choices that Bobby was making. I was more sitting there thinking, like, why would you do that?
Right.
Instead of like being scared for what he was doing. Yeah. So, number 3 question, Andrew.
Yes, sir.
Did you have fun with horror?
I think I did. With this one, and I love that question, by the way. It's so good. Yeah, I think I did. It was. I sat there. I had my, it's an hour and a half where I was entertained for an hour and a half. I had fun. So yeah, I would say I had fun with horror. Okay. Yeah. What about you? Did you have fun with horror?
Can't say that I did.
Okay.
I can't say that I had a lot of fun with this one.
Yeah,
it was a little frustrating to me, and yeah, they can't all be wonderful for everybody,
right?
But like any other movie, I'd rather people enjoy this movie. I'm glad that you liked it. I am beyond glad, actually. And another one of our friends mentioned that I think he mentioned that he liked it. And, that makes me happy. I don't want people to agree with me when I don't care for a movie. I want people to disagree with me and like it.
Right.
I would much rather people like movies than not and have good times watching them. So, yeah. Personally, I didn't have that much fun with this one.
Yep.
But I'm glad you did, buddy.
Thanks, man. Yeah, good. The one I picked, you didn't like. Dang it. Good job, Andrew.
Yeah, you better do better next week.
I will. Okay, Scotty. Now that we've found out why the boy was behind the door.
Yes, we have.
We have.
We finally know.
We finally know. My question is, what movie have you picked for this week?
Ooh, okay. So, I'm going to get slightly personal, but not too personal.
Oh, no, please.
But there's a reason why I'm picking this movie right now. So, my movie is The Conjuring. The Devil Made Me Do It.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen The Conjuring 1 and 2?
I've actually seen all 3.
Oh, you've seen The Devil Made Me Do It?
I have, but I would be willing to watch it again.
Okay, good. I was more worried that you hadn't seen 1 and 2.
Oh, no, I own them.
So, here's the thing. Yeah. We're going to talk about this in a later episode, but my girlfriend, when we first started dating, we sat down to watch The Conjuring. She had tried to watch it before and couldn't get through it. We tried to watch it again. She still couldn't get through it because there's certain visuals in that movie that keep her awake at night, basically. Like the girl on top of the wardrobe and stuff. So there's certain types, this type of movie, like possession, demons, that kind of scares my girlfriend. So I have to watch those by myself. Mm-hmm. She happens to be on vacation right now. And she gets back, as we're recording this, she gets back in 2 days. So one thing I had planned to do while she was away was to finally watch The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. Mm-hmm. Because I've never seen it. I've seen every other Conjuring universe movie except for this one.
Nice.
And I know it's gotten a certain word of mouth, not great, but I still want to see it because I'm a little bit more forgiving of some movies than other people.
Right.
So I really want to see this movie. I'm excited to watch it, and I'm going to watch it on the last night before she comes back, so I don't have to wait till she's at work or anything. But yeah, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It.
I just had to stop for a second because I was about to be like, oh, something about it, but...
Oh, yeah, see?
Don't say anything.
So I don't want to know what you thought at all until... Yep. And, of course, as Andrew and I, as our rules, our little self-imposed rules go, Andrew is agreeing to rewatch the movie this week.
Yes.
In preparation to record our episode about it.
Yep.
So that's cool. So now, finally, a movie I haven't seen that you have.
Right. Yeah, dude. I love that.
Yeah, and I'm excited. I'm excited to watch this.
Yeah.
In the dark. Hopefully. I mean, it may not be scary at all, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. And I'm just talking to the choir here because you know if it's scary or not. Mm-hmm. But we will ask those questions of each other next week on Fun with Horror.
Can we please end every episode that way from now on?
Yes.
Hey, everybody.
Ooh, you sounded like Bozo the Clown there. That was awesome. That was a great impression.
Hey, thanks, man.
Oh, man. Okay, so... Everybody, thank you for listening. As always, we are your hosts, Andrew and Scotty. I'm starting to sound professional. I hate this.
Go wear a tie.
I am wearing a tie. How did you know?
So
but not around my neck. Oh, boy.
Oh, man.
Oh,
don't ever
I needed
change.
This after the boy behind the door.
Right.
I needed some laughter here. Jeez. So anyway.
Yes, anywho.
Guys, if you will, write us a review on iTunes. This is something we haven't asked yet, but it does help. if you guys write a little review on iTunes, even if you hate us, like write the review. It's fine.
Yeah.
But, obviously a favorable review would be nicer.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
We're also on Spotify. We're also on Google Podcasts. So, yeah. And also, write into us.
Yes, please.
We've actually had a couple that I've mentioned. I haven't mentioned that they were emails, but I have mentioned that we've had some answers to questions and what have you. But our email, once again, funwithhorrorpodcast@gmail.com. So feel free to write in. If you want us to talk about a certain movie, let us know. Because if you guys request a movie, Andrew and I have discussed this, we are going to be completely open to rewatching movies that you guys want us to talk about.
Absolutely.
So that we're not always doing movies that we haven't seen.
Mm-hmm.
Although, who knows? You might pick movies that we haven't seen. So
that'd be awesome.
I'm just babbling here, Andrew.
No, this is good. We need to let the people know.
Also, Andrew.
Yes, sir.
Our Spotify playlist.
Yes.
It's called Fun with Horror. Horror music we love, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's almost 8 hours long now.
Oh my gosh.
I added a couple of more hours of horror movie music.
Ooh.
So
good to know. And again,
it's getting
Oh no, I was just gonna say this is a great one if you're, a car ride or at work. Like I have it in the background. It's like the perfect time. It's setting up fall. It's a great playlist.
If you need music to put your kids to sleep at night, it's really great.
It's perfect.
Anyway, Andrew,
Scotty,
I love you.
I love you too, man. This was awesome. As always. What a blast.
As always.
All
right. I will talk to you next week when we discuss The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Right, bye-bye.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
I never really planned on taking you out of that trunk. I figured you'd suck all the air out and that'd be the end of it. But here we are.